as a whole, the house feels as if it fits together and it fits in the environment as well. And that I get great feedback from guests as well. So that makes me quietly proud in what I've created out of nothing, out of my imagination in a sense. I'm Linda, the South African diva from African Queen that you've seen on here before. Today we're visiting Tulana, which is my other guest accommodation on Tagg's Island, which is close to Hampton Court Palace, Richmond, Kew Gardens and Kingston, and about 12 miles from central London and Waterloo. I've been living here since 2019 and then recently refurbished, demolished and redone this house in 2022. The entryway has been an interesting journey because the original home had quite a steep incline into the house. It felt a bit on an icy night you would take your life into your own hand. And years ago I visited South America with my parents, and in Chile we had a wood-fired hot tub in the middle of the evening underneath a volcano. And I just had such a sort of lovely experience there and thought I would love to replicate that to guests. And I was also keen not to have any jacuzzi bubbles or noise inside. I wanted people to have an off-grid experience and really enjoy communing with nature here on the lagoon. So the patio took shape to fit in an off-grid hot tub, which I got in from Sweden, and that's sort of made the whole entryway take shape in that sense. The living room was an interesting one as we brought in this ginormous dining room table into this space, and then the living room got a lot smaller. We originally bought this beautiful Timothy Alton table that is actually made out of reclaimed wood of barns and even boats, and didn't quite realize how heavy and how big the table is. So I specifically designed this living room and the dining room space so you'd be able to entertain, and you can swivel this table and you can have a long banquet meal with 12 guests in this space. And in the same sense, I then had to be quite creative about how the living room or the little sort of TV nook took shape. But thankfully, because we have the two beautiful big sliding doors, you have a sense of space and the raised ceiling, so it worked out really well. I ended up wanting a little fireplace, and I also was quite keen to get a really nice Art Deco type sofa in here, so it just took shape as I planned and went along with it. The kitchen in this house has got an interesting story. I am, as we say in Afrikaans, a book for bargains. And my builder made the grave mistake to tell me that you can buy a kitchen quite cheaply on sites where people are ripping out old homes. Or if you think about it, you can't return a kitchen if you don't like the color. It's not that you can send it back to the shop because it's the wrong size. So frequently you can buy a second-hand or even a brand new kitchen at a steal. So even before we started to demolish this house, I bought a kitchen. My builder nearly killed me because there was nowhere to put it. But thankfully, the benevolent dictator of the island, aka Grant, the owner of part of the island, was able to store it in the garage. And then the kitchen took shape because I was quite keen that it again was in the house but wasn't in your face. So similarly to Tamanzi, I also treated this particular kitchen cabinets with the metal finish. This one is an aged brass finish which would stand up to the test of time, and the occasional lemon juice or vinegar spilling on it as well. The bedroom, similar to the rest of this house, is all about...
We'll go for it, let's keep rolling.
We have a cat bombing the video feed here, Luca, and he's trying to steal things off the table. The bedroom is lovely in a way that it's extremely cool, which was something that I discovered later on once we hit the first summer. It also has a really lovely feel at night because you can close all the blinds, all the deep green velvets, and it just has a sort of cocoon feel. People say they sleep really well. I've had a few guests mention that they expected or think of a bedroom as having to be a white space, but they had such a good night's rest in this sort of darker space. And again, my one designer friend gave me the good idea to make an open wardrobe as well to give a sense of space, and again I could then feature wallpaper at the back. So all in all, the jungle theme and urban nature runs all the way into the bedroom as well. The bathroom is a bit of a monkey business in there. I found some really funky wallpaper, and my neighbor and my husband are very traditional. If they had their choice, everything would be white, and I thought they would just balk at this particular wallpaper, but strangely enough they liked it. So the monkey wallpaper went up, and from there the bathroom developed into this amazing freestanding gold brass bath. And then also with the walk-in shower and the bathroom, it just has a unusual feel to it because you've got the big chandelier above the bath, and you also have all the little nooks and actually surprising lot of storage space. I think most people don't think that you can have that size of bathroom in a floating home, especially if a home is 10 by 6 meters. This particular veranda is one of my favorite spots, especially on the lagoon, because the sun comes up over the front of the house and then crosses over. So in the morning, it is the perfect spot to have a cup of tea or a coffee or cappuccino, get the froth on and just enjoy it. And then I also have some duck food always at hand. So it's lovely to sit on the front veranda and just feed the animals. However, they do like to come onto the veranda. So in the recent year, I've actually added some planters all along the edge because especially in breeding season, you would have them pecking at the window, either wanting a feed or getting very excited about their mirror image. The rooftop is accessed by a staircase to heaven with a little bit of a gap, and then you step onto the floating home. I've covered it with some grass, which just gives it a lovely luxurious feel, and even in the summer days it's so nice to go up there. There's a hammock up there. I always warn people to not leave her alone because she dreams about flying over the lagoon if the wind takes her, but it's just lovely to while away some time. And especially as the sun sets towards the back of the house, if you're on the rooftop, you have beautiful sunsets in the distance. There's some joyous deck chairs upstairs, some poofs, and you can just relax, have a glass of vino, and there's even a yoga mat. So if the energy takes you, you want to have some sun salutations at the rising sun, that's always an option as well. In this house, it's not actually the furniture, but the design touches that I love. So when I first started down this journey and I explained to my builder I want to do wallpaper in the room, his face fell because he felt it's not in fashion. Similarly, he said nobody have baths and nobody have freestanding baths in this country, and none of his friends have, and I persevered. And then by the time the wallpaper behind me was put up, he told me the next morning I won the Oscar for that wallpaper. He particularly liked this wallpaper. So it's funny how people come around, even at the time, not believing that it will come together. What makes me happy about this home? I think for me, it was the first time I boldly went out and did it all myself. And I remember I was 3 months into this project going, oh, you crazy, silly woman, how could you have not asked an architect? How could you have not done this? I think I did the floor plans by eye, sort of PDF type drawings, and in hindsight, felt quietly proud that the house came together out of my mindscape, out of my sort of months of research looking at Pinterest and all different ideas, and that as a whole the house feels as if it fits fits together and it fits in the environment as well. And that I get great feedback from guests as well. So that makes me quietly proud in what I've created out of nothing, out of my imagination in a sense.
Could you tell us something surprising about yourself?
I think people don't always realize I'm a bit of a one-hit wonder. I think if I feel mentally and physically challenged by something, I do it, tick it off the list, and then I move on. So in my youth, I've done things like teach ballroom and Latin American dancing. I've performed in a Super Bowl in front of thousands of people. I did a stint of television work. And I even made my wedding dress, and they never sewed again in my life. So it's just interesting. People don't realize that I sort of flint from one thing to the next. But in the same sense, it's quite nice to feel that I've settled on Tagg's Island, and I most probably will be carried out of here by ambulance or by coffin.